This podcast contains discussions of mature themes, including violence, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Please proceed with caution. Listener discretion is advised.
Henniger, I'll be waiting in hell for you! Harry, I'm coming. This whole fucking town is going to die! We're coming back, you bastards! Sarah, be my bloody Valentine.
Hello everyone, break out those Moonpig reminders and those last minute petrol station flowers because it's Valentine's Day here on Dark Talk.
That was good, that.
I'm your host Dan and I'm joined by my bros for this extremely belated Valentine's Day episode. Paul, James, how are you both?
Yeah, all good.
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm cool. So, we're back for this Valentine's episode in March.
Yeah, oops. That's most probably my fault.
No, it's alright.
Why? What you been doing?
I moved house and then I've been mental in work, so I think we've tried to schedule this twice before, maybe once before, but I keep cancelling, so sorry about that.
Yeah, so you're only on your third strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got another James lined up to replace you.
Which James is that?
Yeah. James Nesbitt.
He's the first VIP guest on the show, is it?
Yeah.
James Nesbitt, who reminds me of Bosch. What's his name?
Titus Welliver.
Yeah, he's like the Wish version of Titus Welliver.
There's a really funny gag from Alexi Shale, the comedian, where he talks about how many cats he owns. And he's named each one, he's got about a dozen, and each one is named after a James Nesbitt character where he plays a gritty, hard-boiled detective. Yeah. So, what have you guys been up to in the past month? Anything new? Anything good?
I've been watching Peep Show again recently.
Oh,
I've been a rewatch of Peep Show. Have you? It's that good for just watching while you're eating tea and that. I'm watching a couple of films as well. I can't remember since last time. I think I watched Near Dark. I watched The Witch again, and there was that. Was it like 7-hour long Novum video on YouTube about The Witch, which I listened to pretty much all in one go. That was awesome. And I watched a Spanish film called The Coffee Table, which I've been trying to hesitate to tell either of you about because I wanted to mention it on here. Ooh, it's a grim film. It's not a horror film. It's not a genre of film. It's like nothing happens apart from one thing quite early on, which like makes the rest of the film, like, it just gives you this feeling throughout the film. I'd definitely try and find it and watch it.
Intriguing.
I'll find the link for it and I'll send it to you.
What's it called? The Coffee Table?
Yeah, it's quite hard to find.
That makes me think of the film you and I came up with, Paul, when we were about 16, 17. It was just going to be 2 hours of a man staring at the camera with the blank brick wall background. And what was going to draw people into this film is the fact that nothing was happening. And the viewer would be like, no, something has got to happen soon. We may as well keep watching. But for 2 hours, it was just going to be nothing. And we decided that this was going to be the best film ever made.
Do you reckon people watching it would lean over and be like, we have to watch this for 2 hours?
No. There's a commercial break, and then we have to come back in for another 2 hours.
I'm going to pretend I'm watching Pete.
Yeah. What have you been up to, Dan?
I've been doing some spring cleaning, clearing out my office. I came across my PlayStation 2. Oof. It's been it's the shell of my PlayStation 2. So I've decided, because I've owned it since the year it was released, so it's like my oldest possession. So I decided to refurb it. So I've basically taken it apart, cleaned it, hoovered it. I've been trying to source parts for it. So I've been driving to all these houses on Facebook Marketplace and just buying sockets and pads and memory cards and all kinds of crap. I could just buy a new one, but a second-hand working one, but this one, the way I'm fixing this one up, I feel like I'm Prop Joe from The Wire. When he's fixing a toaster in his corner shop. Immensely satisfying job to get it all together. So I've got all the parts now. I just need to get the disc tray working, and I'll be good to go. That's
What's the first game?
Metal Gear Solid 2. Here we go, baby.
Nice.
Nice.
I think I'm going to get one as well, because we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? And I want to play Shut Your Mouth again, and I want to play some of the Silent Hill games again. Silent Hill 4 specifically.
Oh, I've got that. I've actually got the disc of that,
yeah.
and it's like mint condition because I bought it the year it came out. I think I played it about 3 times, and I just couldn't get into it, so you can have that if you want.
Yeah, sound.
It's like almost brand new. Like, God, I think it's like 21 years old now, I think.
Yeah, about that.
Have you played it before?
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah, well, the version that Dan was just talking about is the one I played because I borrowed it from you in the summer of the year that it came out. And I remember, I think we'd just been to download, and I had we got back on the Monday morning, and I had the rest of the week off, and I played it, but first person games, I've said it before, I'm really bad at, so I didn't get very far in it. And I think I was still just totally
it's
gone from being at the festival 5 days before it, so I need to replay it.
Right, Dark Talkers, let's talk dark. Gentlemen, we are here tonight to discuss My Bloody Valentine, released in 1981, directed by George Mihalka, starring Paul Kellman, Neil Affleck, Laurie Hallier, and Don Franks as the Chief. So when did you both first see this film, and what are your memories of it?
This film has a lot of meaning to me. This is the first horror film I ever saw, in my life. One of the earliest films I ever remember seeing in my life.
Yeah.
We started talking about it the other day, Dan, and I said I'd save it for this. But so yeah, I was about 6, I would say, and a lad who lived across the street from me was 5 years older, and I was playing in his house. We were playing with Warhammer toys or some shit like that. And he said that he's got this film, and he said you can't watch it because you're too young. And I was like, nah, I'm not too young at all, whatever. And he put it on, and it was a miner chasing kids through a mine, not even kids, adults, people through a mine, killing them and whatever. And I saw it, and I had nightmares for 3 days straight. And, proper bad nightmares, because I all my life I've dreamt about mines for some reason. It was because of the film Star Chaser, Legend of Orin, where at the beginning of the film they're all trapped in mines and stuff. That film really fucked me up as well. Yeah, I've always had bad dreams about being stuck in mines and stuff like that. So this was probably part of that. So it scarred me for years, and I always remembered the story, except for getting one detail wrong, was why the legendary killer was killing people. And I always thought it was because his wife got murdered on Valentine's Day, so therefore he kills people who celebrate Valentine's Day. But obviously that's not the plot at all. So I saw it when I was about 20, and it was on Sky or something. And I watched about 5 minutes of it and decided I thought it was absolutely shit. But I got over the whole childhood thing, and then I rewatched it again last week.
James, I think you saw this film for the first time today.
Today, yes. I've seen the remake. That was the first one that I watched of this. I think I probably watched that. That was it's got Jensen Ackles in it, so it was during this supernatural hype and everything. So I was yeah. So I remember that film being pretty shit, but I can't really remember anything about it. But no, this is the first time I've ever seen this.
I've never seen the original, up until I watched it last week for the first time. I'm like you. I first watched the 2009 3D Jensen Ackles vehicle because I was big into Supernatural at the time. So I remember seeing My Bloody Valentine 3D in the cinema. I think the week after I went to go watch the other brother, Jared Padalecki, in the Friday the 13th remake. So I think they both came out within a week of each other. I knew it was a remake, but I never got round to watching the original. I think there were a lot of remakes coming out around that time, because I remember a remake of The Crazies with Timothy Olyphant. Yeah. Do you remember that?
I remember thinking that was going to be amazing. I can't really remember much of it, but I think it was shit, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty shit.
I quite liked that. I saw it in the cinema. I quite liked it. And then I went to buy the original DVD, and I never got round to buying the My Bloody Valentine one.
It was 3D, was it?
Yeah, but it's so schlocky.
Oh, yeah. No, imagine. No.
It's all digital. There's no practical in it.
Yeah.
It's just...
That's what's great about the 81 film, though, isn't it? Because it's all practical.
Yeah, so when I watched this for the first time, I thought there was some sort of problem with the copy I was watching, because some of the kills were in a lot grainier footage, really didn't look as high quality. And it's only afterwards I've realised that was all put together in 2009. They were deleted scenes that were put back in by Lionsgate when they bought the rights to the film and then re-released it with all the good stuff in. So apparently this film was quite tame when it was first released. So you can tell what footage has been put back in, because one, it's all the violent, extremely cool stuff, and two, it's like looks really grainy and it's like the colours off.
I found out that fact after watching it recently by listening to like a YouTube video about it, but when I was watching it I was like, why did the colour go dead weird then? So I skipped it back and I rewatched it and I was like, yeah, it's not like the laptop or my eyes or anything. Then when I when I heard the explanation for it, I was like, oh my god, yeah, it proper does make a difference, because it goes like dark and grainy, doesn't it?
I'm going to say now, so I really enjoyed the gore in this film. I thought it was fucking amazing. Like, I can't imagine how this would have looked without all those cool death scenes. Like, it probably would have been like a completely different film, because for me, half of the things that I enjoyed in this film was like the gore. It was so creative and so much fun.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine though, when this came out, it would have been like, that's a shit film, and then it didn't get a sequel because of it, and then only because of the 2009 remake that we ever even saw the cut footage as well.
Yes,
but like, it would have just gone down as that like awful film that like didn't have any gore in it and was just like a cheesy, typical 80s slasher.
But yeah, there was some like you were saying, there was some like really good kills, and I was watching it, I was actually like, because it's like so old now, if it was bad, it would be acceptable for it to be bad, and it'd be like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, it was really good.
Yeah,
top tier.
but it's actually pretty good.
They still hold up.
Big time.
So the film opens up, and I felt this was really atmospheric.
Yeah.
There's two miners walking down in a mine.
Steve Miner.
Steve Miner, the guy that wrote Halloween.
Well, Steve Miner wrote Halloween.
So there's two Steve Miners walking through the mine, and I turned away to take a sip of my coffee, and when I looked back, one of them was still wearing the gas mask, but disrobed and was wearing all this kinky lingerie. I was like, ooh, hello.
When that first came on, I was literally
Anyway, miner number one pushes miner number two, this buxom, beautiful blonde, onto something I've now dubbed a CPWS, a conveniently placed wall spike. So we've seen this before in Halloween 6 when that nurse got wall spiked. Yeah. So I'm going to keep watch from now on for conveniently placed wall spikes.
We should make a list and do an episode about conveniently placed wall spikes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Please. Yes, that's coming to the Patreon soon.
The tattoo on her boob, so you can tell she's naughty. It's like,
it's like I drawn on him felt tip pen.
It's so it's like has anyone got a Sharpie on set?
I got a question though. Who is this woman? Because after this, she's never mentioned again. It doesn't explain who she is, why she was down in the mine, like what was going on. This is just
we do see part of her again. Though.
She serves no purpose. Oh, we do. We'll get to that. But like otherwise,
I read that she's just a girl from the town that the person who killed her was with. So she had obviously had a history with that person. I'm not going to say who yet because I'm going to spoil it for listeners.
Yeah, we'll refer to the killer as
the miner.
The miner. So
yeah, so
so there's no credits. We just open straight up to this the Canadian town of Valentine Bluffs.
We get a title card, which I like a lot.
This opening scene, it's just a load of naked men in the shower, like slapping each other on the ass and whipping each other with towels, and like all this horseplay and tomfoolery going on, and they're all like, "Hey, buddy!" It's like they're all soaping each other up.
I got to be honest, when I was watching this, because I've been so busy at work, I haven't been out for a drink recently, and I was watching it, I was like, God, like these boys have got me wanting to go out for a pint. You know, like we'll zoom into the bar straight away. It's like,
that's all I felt throughout the whole film. I was just like, I want to be there with them.
Pointed at the screen, like, there, that's what it is.
You bastards.
Like Leo pointed at the screen.
But yeah, they just all look like they're having like a great time.
They do. I love the hillbilly music when they're like, last one to the bars of rotten egg. And like one guy, is it Hollis, is like putting his pants on and hopping towards his car. There's fucking Dukes of Hazzard music playing.
Is that a? Do you reckon that's a rip off from that song from the first Friday the 13th? You know when they're driving up that
That's what came to my mind.
Banjo
That's what
music.
came to my mind. The town that they're in as well, it looks like proper like something from The Walking Dead. Like they drive past this giant like facility, and it looks like the base where the saviors live. I was like, oh fuck, Negan's gonna come out, start bashing shit up with his.
Yeah, it's proper
What's her name? Lucille.
like small town vibes. It looks so good. Is it in Canada? Did you say, not America?
It's Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
TJ's accent later on is the most Canadian thing I've ever heard.
And Axel, when he
I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Axel was like when they're arguing over Sarah, he's like, "I'm going with her." And it's like,
It sounds like
it's so
all
good.
from Fargo, doesn't it?
Yeah,
No, well, the TV show more than the.
because that's in like Minnesota, isn't it? So it's just
Yeah,
below
so it's literally
Canada.
like
But like after watching this,
Apologies to our Canadian listeners. I'd just like to say that Bret Hart is a hero of mine, so I love the accent.
And how
Yeah.
funny that his name is Hart, and we're doing My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh!
spooky.
So these miners drive into the town, and it looks like a Valentine's Day bomb has gone off in this town because there's like red and white bunting everywhere. There's signs about the big dance. And we meet these two characters. So we meet the mayor of Valentine's Bluffs. He's also the owner of the mine. Is he the mayor? Have I got that
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I think so.
And we meet Mabel. she's the woman behind all this decorating. And the mayor, he's just like, "Oh, Mabel, you and your decorating committee have done such a great job." And I was like, "What, the decorating committee? Like, how'd you get on
Well,
that?"
to be fair, the town's so small, they probably have stuff like that. And she's of the age.
she's
I get
probably
that.
the only member.
Yeah.
She's the CEO and the chair.
Yeah, maybe. That bit when we first get introduced to her, it made me laugh when she opens the door, that guy comes out, what's his name? He like jump scares her and she's like, "Oh!"
We meet our trio of main characters. We meet TJ, who is our moody James Dean style protagonist. He's returned to the town. Has he been like working away
I think
or
he
something?
just left.
He's been to California.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because he comes back and he's just like, "Oh, I failed so miserably." He's like, "I am so pathetic. You don't understand what a loser I am."
Good way to get a woman.
We meet Sarah. She's our sort of nondescript blonde. I don't know. There's nothing about her. She's anybody.
Just about
Yeah.
TJ, by the way. I think it's implied that he went to like Hollywood, maybe to try and become like an actor or something.
Yeah, so TJ has a chip on his shoulder for two reasons. One, he tried to make it on his own in California as an actor, failed disastrously. And number two, his ex-girlfriend Sarah is now dating his former best friend Axel.
Very cool name, by the way.
What do you think of Axel?
What do I think of
Cool
Axel?
name, yeah.
I love the name. I think we need to bring Axel back.
Yeah,
You know, it's a very, very cool name. Throughout the film, I couldn't think of who he reminded me of, and then I got to a certain point and I realised his face. I've seen a picture of the guy now. He doesn't really look like him, but his face looks just like Randy Orton's face, just like this area.
Yeah, well, I know, because I was thinking he looked like an older Josh Hartnett. You know what Josh Hartnett looks like now?
Yeah.
I thought they looked very similar.
But yeah, I kind of like him in the way that I don't dislike any character in this film, which is like a first
No.
for a lot of the films we talk about.
Considering it's just a pretty basic slasher, I think a lot of the characters have got quite a lot of personality.
Yeah,
they're all
big time.
quite fun to watch. I think there's a few no-name jobber victims, but like most of the mine workers are pretty funny and pretty likable. The mayor, Mabel, and the chief, I think they're all characters.
Yeah. They're all given a decent amount of like screen time to show that they've got personalities, and even like the no-name jobbers who barely speak, it does show them quite a bit, like their relationships and stuff and where they are in the group. And you can imagine like a real group of friends having the more quiet people in the group. But like the bigger characters,
it's
are, like, very likable. Yeah, don't think there was anyone I didn't like.
Yeah, it's very genuine, especially when they're all drinking in the bar. It looks like what it's like to go to a bar with your friends. You know, it's just like chaos. Because I think at one point, like it shows Axel and he's doing the bishop knife alien things. He like stabs himself in the hand. And it's
awesome.
very. There's a lot of life in that group. It's
Yeah. And what about that barman?
Oh, we'll get to the Harbinger in a minute. So we get the scene now where the mayor, TJ's dad, and the chief, played by Don Franks, they're driving in the car, and the mayor It's like, oh, I've got this heart-shaped box. And this is not from Kurt Cobain, I'm glad to add. And instead of chocolates, it contains a human heart. He's like, oh God, it can't be happening again. Reaction was just... I assume that this human heart belongs to the girl from the start.
Oh, yeah,
right?
cool, yeah.
Because the chief and the mayor take the heart to the mortuary, right, where this doctor looks at it. Now, this doctor, right, he's fucking like... He's got it in a silver dog bowl, and he's holding it in his hands, right? No PP, no gloves, no evidence bag. He's just waving it around in the thing. He's like, yep, definitely a human heart. Where did you guys get this? What's going on? And he's like squeezing it, and like, fucking hell, dude, like, show some professional. You're like...
I put this down as one of the comments as well. His line is like, oh, it looks like Harry Warden's back in town. It's like, this guy's a professional man, you know, not to jump into any conclusions. But it's kind of like, I don't know if it's like done in that vein on purpose where it's just funny. Or is it just seem funny?
I don't think it is. I think it's unintentional. Like, I don't think there's that much comedy in this film. I think that was just completely unintentional. So, our Harbinger, our Crazy Ralph, our you don't want to go down that road, Mr. Stotch, that bartender. It's just like, recounts the legend of Harry Warden to the group. Who wants to take us through what happened with Harry Warden? Well, I guess I'll do it then. Fuck us. So 10 years ago, down the mine, there were 2 supervisors.
20 years ago.
And there were 5 20 years ago. Fucking, if you know the story, why don't you fucking tell it then?
When you asked...
I'm telling the story now.
When you asked, I was deep in thought about something else. Sorry.
Okay, so 20 years ago, down the mine, there were 7 miners. 2 supervisors and 5 miners actually in the mine. Now, this happened to take place on the night of the annual Valentine's piss-up, and the 2 supervisors left early because they wanted to go and get drunk and shag around, and there was an explosion, and the other 5 miners were trapped down the mine for weeks. Now, when the rescue team finally dug into the mine, only Harry Warden was found to be alive. They don't say this. If you're not watching at the time, you'll miss it. He's chewing on an arm of another miner, so it's implied that he's cannibalized the other miners just to stay alive. So he's institutionalized, and then 1 year later he returns to the town and he murders the 2 supervisors, and he cuts their hearts out and he leaves them in a little heart-shaped box, and he's all, never hold a Valentine's Day dance again. The legend goes that Harry Warden still lurks in the mines waiting to kill anybody who comes too close. And this bartender, he takes that story so seriously. And when everyone's laughing at him about it, he's like, you fuckers, you don't know what you've unleashed.
It's just like, if you ever want to like run a bar that doesn't make any money, like just hire this guy. You know, it's just something like that. It's just, it's so funny. He's like Mo if it was like a live action Simpsons thing, I swear. It's the vibe I was getting.
While we're talking about him, let's talk about what happens to him. Okay, so these kids, like, he's really annoyed that these kids aren't taking him seriously. So like, he's like next this bottle of whiskey, goes to the mine, and he like jerry rigs this miner's suit on strings with a pickaxe and like hides it behind this door. So when you pull the door open, it looks like there's someone in the miner's overalls and mask attacking you. And he like rigs it up and he pulls the door and he's like, ah! Like laughing at his own handiwork. And like he does it again and he's like pissing himself and he's like out of breath laughing at what he's done. And like he does it for a 3rd time and he's like, oh my God. And he walks off and like he stops. And as I was watching it, I thought he'd heard something. I thought, oh, here we go. But it's not, he hasn't heard something. He turns around with a smile on his face. He goes back to have another look at his work. But of course, this time he opens the door and the real miner
I think what happens on that 3rd one is that the pickaxe doesn't come up. So he walks off and then he's like, oh, wait. But he's still laughing. I think that's what...
Oh, right,
I think so. I might be wrong, but it didn't look like it did, but I'm not sure.
I didn't get that. I thought he was just going back to admire his work one more time.
I mean, I prefer that if that's the
what
right
I thought.
He's just like, oh, that's
I'll have
so
to
funny,
rewatch
I'll
the
come
scene
and look at it again.
What I did notice as well, so the miner is behind the door and the miner kills the bartender with a pickaxe and he swings it upwards through the jaw. It hits him right under the chin and the end of the pick comes out, pops his eye out. A very awesome looking kill. But what I did notice as well is the way he swings the pickaxe, he swings it upwards like the miner's jerry-rigged contraption, his Halloween decoration. I thought that was a cool little touch.
That kill was, without getting ahead of myself, is the best kill of the film. It's so good, the way it comes just like straight through the...
It's pretty good, yeah. There is one more that I like as well.
Same.
But I'll get to that. But yeah, that was... I'd say this is like probably objectively the best one, yeah.
I just want to go...
Sorry, I'd say what's really gruesome about it as well is the miner, he drags the body across the courtyard with the axe still in the head, and it's like, oh god, imagine if he was still alive somehow, dying, and you'd be being dragged like that across the concrete. Oh, it's gross. Sorry, James, what were you going to say?
If that was remade now, that'd be it. I was going to say, I just want to go back to just the one of the scenes, where the mayor gets the heart-shaped box. Or is it the sheriff in the car? And they're like, right, let's turn this. They turn the car around and then they head back.
Are you going to say about the dog?
Because I imagine, whether it's somebody's dog who just happened to be on set one day and they're watching and they're like, oh shit, Wiggles, come back. And they're just like, no, they're just like, oh fuck, we can't afford to go again. We'd have to put it in the film.
No, that adds to its charm. I love that. Yeah. It's just really cool.
But it's weird, isn't it? Because there's so much comedy in this film.
Unintentional.
I loved that. I thought it was a nice touch. Because the dog just chases him so far up the road, and then obviously somebody's.
So the first kill, the one I've just described, was the second kill of the film. So this is our first kill. So we are at the laundrette, and we get the Michael Myers POV shot of the killer stalking the CEO of the decorating committee, Mabel. And he's watching her through the windows, and then does she get a "Roses are Red" poem?
Yeah, remember it?
Roses are red, violets are blue, something, and so are you. Is that it?
Yeah.
Right. One of them's dead, and so are you. I only watched it today, so I think it's pretty fresh in my mind. Something crap, yeah.
At first, I was quite disappointed with this death because he jump scares her, chases around the laundrette, sort of pins her down, brings up the pickaxe, swings it down, and it cuts away. And I was like, oh, fuck, that sucks. And then I'll just go on to the corpse reveal because later on, the chief is in the laundrette and he's just looking for Mabel. And he opens up the dryer, and this is one of the scenes that was cut from the original release. Her burned, skinned, flayed body falls out of the dryer, starts spinning round in circles. Oh my god! And the chief is fucking devastated. He's like, ah!
Do you reckon they originally put more of that scene in, or do you reckon it was just the actual death
I think me complaining about the pickaxe coming down and then it cutting away, I'm sure that was cut, and they must have either not been able to put the footage back in. Must have lost it.
When I mentioned about it being grainy, that was the scene that I meant. So it goes from almost looks like night, like evening, it's got twilight outside because it goes so dark. But that whole thing.
That's the first time I noticed it as well.
Yeah.
What, when he's actually killing her?
Yeah.
The corpse reveal.
Yeah,
when he finds her in the washing machine.
In the dryer.
Yeah. I was going to say he turns the lights out in that when he's killing her, but that actually made me jump. She's she turns the lights out and then there's this horrific close up of her eyes going opening really wide.
Yeah.
And then it's
Woo. I thought it was. We'll talk about that bit about the chief now as well, because I thought this was doubly sad later on when the chief receives another heart-shaped box and he thinks, fuck, this is going to have a human penis in it or something. He opens it and it's actually a genuine box of chocolates, and there's a little note in it from Mabel saying, "Be my Valentine." And I was thinking, oh god, she was going to ask him out, and it's oh, now she can't because she's dead, and he just looks really sad about it. I was like, fuck, oh god, that's awful, it's terrible. Bit of characterization for what could just be a non-entity chief character, but they give him a bit of personality and it's a bit of motivation.
When his deputy brings in the box, he's like, "Oh, there's a box of chocolates here for you." He looks at me, he's like, "Oh god." The deputy must be like, "What the fuck?"
It's like, "Oh fuck, what is it this time?"
Oh god.
So, due to Mabel's death, the dance gets cancelled. Although the teens don't know why. No, they keep Mabel's death hush hush. So the teens quite annoyed that the dance has been cancelled, so they decide to host their own party.
Naughty.
Before they do that, TJ, who obviously still has feelings for Sarah, he basically just kidnaps her. He shoves her face first into the car, and she's like, "TJ, I do not want to go with you." And he's just like, "Get in!"
Properly.
And he
it's gross.
And he drives her to the fucking least romantic beach I have ever seen. Like, you can see, like, there's, like, industrial factories in the background, and it's freezing cold winds, and it's, like, just grass, there's no sand.
That looks like,
it's just like
Port Talbot down here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Rill.
And then at the end of, this is one of my notes, because at the end of that scene they share a kiss, and my note is naughty Sarah, he.
Yeah, so she's doing the dirty on Axel because we'll find out what kind of person Axel is.
Well, we've seen signs of him being quite controlling and stuff. When she wanted to put music on earlier, he's like, "Where you going, babe?"
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed that.
When they're sat in the one of the pubs, I think.
She goes over to the jukebox, which is right next to TJ, who's playing pool, and they're like sort of looking at each other.
So we'll just go to skip ahead to the party. So this is where we get our first run of kills, basically.
That's one of my favourites.
Oh my god, I laughed myself fucking silly over this death. So it's just some guy, I don't even know his name, but he just suffers the most hilarious death in the film. Like, he just gets drowned in a pot of boiling sausages.
Yeah, fucking, yeah.
I mean, I know it's hot dogs, but like, it's fucking just so funny because like I didn't see what it was at first, so I just saw his head getting shoved. I saw him like drowning, and I looked back up, and the camera cuts to like a shot of him underneath, you know, from like you can see his face, and he's drowning. And as he's drowning, this sausage is...
Oh, see, I didn't see that angle in mine.
I was saying to myself, I was like, who is, like, what kind of party is this? They're having boiled sausages.
Proper stew.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it did.
But what if you notice from that, so he's got his... So they film it with the head under the water from the back, with the miner's hand on the back of his head. And then they cut to underneath so you can see the face of him drowning. But if you look at the size of the pot, it's like nowhere near the size of whatever bathtub they were filming underneath.
Yeah.
And it just looks like, you know, like the House of Leaves, like it's bigger on the inside. It's just like...
I didn't see that angle in the version I watched. I don't think so. But now I'm gonna hunt it down and watch it.
Did you see the edited version from 1981 without any of the kills?
Yeah. No, I saw
none of the gore.
Mabel pop out of the washing machine, but did she start spinning around in there?
Yeah.
A bit, yeah.
No, it literally she fell out and then it cut away so fast.
Oh no!
Did you see the eyeball from the bartender pop out?
Maybe not. I watched the show version.
Oh, no.
Fucking hell. Look, I pay for them as well to rent, and that's what I motherfuckers.
You rented the shit version.
Oh god. Well, let's get to the next kill. Maybe I don't know. We'll find out with this next kill.
Okay.
So the sausage man is dead, right?
Oh.
And also this bit as well. So this guy comes in to get a beer from the fridge. The girls are like handing out the hot dogs. And they just put their hand and they pull out. It's somebody's heart. Somebody's had their heart removed. That's been put there. It's just like this fucking like pale turd. Like they pull out this gigantic pale meaty turd and they're like, oh, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It's like they're still eating the hot dogs out of that. It's like, what did they think it was?
Oh yeah, fucking hell.
It's like someone with like gut bacteria has just passed a solid stool into it.
It reminds me of that Simpsons clip, you know, that delivery bloke's like, where do you want these hearts? And she's like, there, on the floor. It's just like...
beef hearts or whatever it is. Yeah.
But yeah.
Lunch Lady Doris.
I thought you were going to mention about the guy in the fridge, when he goes and gets a beer and he opens the fridge, but he's not looking.
Yeah.
He pulls a beer out, but the guy's just like dead in the fridge.
Yeah.
He's just like...
Yeah.
Carries on with this.
That ties into this next death. So the guy that was getting the beer from the fridge, about 5 minutes before this, he and his girlfriend, you know, we cut to this couple and they're like shagging in this minecart, and we get some of the absolute dirt worst horror dialogue I have ever heard. She's like, you know what we need? Beer. And he's like, I'll go get them. I'll be back in a flash. And she's like, don't take too long. It's like, oh god.
I think, she's like, she's like, I'll come with you. He's like, no, you stay here and I'll go.
You stay here. This is a horror film. I do feel bad for this girl because she is probably, in every film that we've covered so far, she's probably the loveliest character and the nicest person in any film. She's just so like delicate and just like, oh, okay. And she gets, God, her death is like so
Well, you'll have
violent
to tell me
and
what it
gross.
is, because I fucking don't know.
Well, me and Paul saw it, so, you know.
What does happen to her again?
So she starts panicking because she gets scared by the hanging miner suits. Eventually, the real miner turns up. He grabs her by the head, and this is where the colour cut out again, so we knew we were getting a re-edited scene. He drags her by the hair, kicking and screaming, like staring at her face, and he lifts her up and he impales her on this like spiky pipe, which is like the shower head.
Oh, no, I don't think that's the version I saw. Fucking show.
So, I'll just have to ask you, Paul, what did you think of this, Paul?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Fucking hell, you may as well have not watched it.
I can't remember it, to be honest. I watched it over a week ago. I kind of remember it a little bit.
And basically, when her boyfriend comes back in and discovers her, she's like hanging from the shower head with a spike through the back of her neck, out of her mouth, and she's like running water from her mouth.
That wasn't even... So, in the version I watched, he just comes in, he's like staring at her, I assume. And I was like, oh yeah, like what we're going to see. And it just cut away, cut to the next scene.
Yeah, he stands there and he's just panicking, doesn't he? And he just puts like his hands on his head and he's like...
Yeah.
And that's all he's...
He acts his absolute shock off in this scene. It's like,
But yeah, so I missed that.
Back at the party, we have Axel and TJ, and they get into another spat over Sarah, and this time it's handbags at dawn. They start punching each other, like flying over pool tables, arguing.
Yeah, and then my favourite character sorts them out.
Who's your favourite character? Hollis, yeah.
He looks like he'd be good to booze
he's
with.
a cool guy.
He's
He's
big Canadian dude. Canadian drinking dude.
Yeah, so Axel leaves to lick his wounds, and then the shit hits the fan when the bodies are discovered, because... I don't even know the guy's name. The guy with the girlfriend runs in, he's like, she's dead, Sylvia's dead. And then, do they find Sausage Guy's body in the fridge?
Yeah. And then his girlfriend is like, ah! Yeah, and everyone goes wild. Have the people left?
But while this has been... I was just going to say, while this has been happening, a group of partygoers have decided they don't want to get drunk in the sausage cooking kitchen place.
That's fucking great.
Do you know what this place reminds me of? It reminds me of, like, you know, Pentruthling Cummer.
Yeah, like the same style of like building. Yeah.
I'm not going to go into what that is.
Fuck me.
Anyway, this splinter group have decided they'd rather get drunk in a literal pitch black mine than stay here where they are. So they've gone like down into the mine, and naturally the miner follows them down and starts killing people. So I guess this is like the finale of the film, really, isn't it? It's like the third act where all the shit goes down in the mine. What did you think of the mine as a setting? Do you like it?
I love it. Absolutely love it. Practical. They apparently they couldn't use too many lights down there in case it actually caused an explosion. So they had to use like more realistic actual mining light.
What, were they actually down in a mine?
Yeah, the whole thing was actually in a mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
When I've got my shit trivia of the week in a bit, so I'll speak more about it on there. Yeah. But they filmed it all practically, so it's really cool.
Oh yeah, one of my sorry, just to go back, one of my comments is, you know, Sylvia's fella when he finds her.
Yeah,
I thought like the most. I was like, this is my comment. What was it? Guy finds it as if you drop beers just because you found a dead body. What an idiot. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I'd be chugging them.
You'd be
so
chugging
that's what happened. He saw her, and then I think it cuts to the beers dropping, and then it goes to a different scene.
Oh no, the one we watched, he spends a good 30 seconds staring at her going, ah!
Yeah. Ripping his socks off.
So yeah, down in the mine we get there are two jobbers that meet their ends. This is another couple they've left the main group to go and have sex, and we don't see what happens to them. But TJ and Axel go down into the mine to warn the rest of the group that the miner, Harry Warden, is back. Hollis splits off to go one way and TJ splits off to go another way. I think they're all going to search for whoever's around. Hollis comes across the bodies of these two, and they've been given the old Jason double impale with a. Is it like an
drill.
industrial
I think
drill?
So, yeah. But yeah, it looks cool. I kind of wish we'd have seen that death, but
maybe they did film it.
There was
never.
I think there was one that they never recovered, and it was probably that one.
Shit.
From what I read.
That's the one you don't see anything of, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
the shot of them actually looks good.
Apparently the drill or whatever it was accurate to mine workers and stuff.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Same with this.
Damn, it sounds like they put so much effort into this.
Yeah.
This has been made with like a ton of love.
Yeah.
Like I
Absolutely.
can
See what you did.
You know, I mean, it is.
Anyway.
So this is where we meet the end of. We have the end of Hollis in this scene.
I know.
The jolly fat mustachioed miner.
Yeah.
So he turns around and he gets shot in the temple with a nail gun, and then it seems to like lobotomize him or like stun him like he's cattle, and he's like, and then he gets a second one in the temple, like right between the eyes. And I was thinking, oh god, that's going to finish him off, but no, it just makes him worse. He's just staggering around like he's pissed, and he staggers back to the group, who is now Sarah, Howard, and I don't know her name, but she's Hollis's girlfriend, I think, the brunette.
Yes. I didn't see. In my version again, I saw him get shot, but there was no close-up of where it shot him, I don't think. So,
okay, yeah.
Damn, I watched like a Welsh shit version.
Yeah. So we get... I like some of these scenes now. So the group are in the tunnel, and we see the miner approaching them and like sort of creeping around the mine and heading towards them. And it's
when he's smashing the light, it's fucking so scary.
Yeah.
It's really like scary looking. We'll talk about it now. So what do you think of the miner costume as like a slasher villain? Like, how would you rate the way it looks?
I love it. Yeah, I think it's iconic. As we say, it's only one film and a remake, but if they'd have carried it on, it could have gone down as like an all-time classic, like Jason's and Michael's and even Freddy's,
I think it's better than the Jason. I'd never really liked the Jason mask. I don't think it's scary. I don't really understand it, but I think it's better.
It's
as a kid, I was absolutely terrified of it. But I love gas masks, though. I always liked
they've got that
gas
weird
masks.
they're just for what they represent, and you see like from early like 1900s of different gas masks and stuff. They're well creepy.
I find it hard to believe that in the 1980s this film didn't get a sequel. You know, there's nothing that differentiates this film from, in my opinion, from Friday the 13th. You know, they're almost exactly the same. They're both good films, and they're both by Paramount as well. So how one did get a sequel, well, one got like 9 sequels, and the other one only got like...
It was because they were both made by Paramount. Paramount went with Friday the 13th over this. They were like, we're going to put our money into the Friday films and just not bother with that.
You'd think like a slasher film is generally quite low cost to make, and you think they'd want as many money spinners as they can. You know, it's not like the studios are well known for showing their restraint and thinking, "Oh, we've got one franchise, let's leave it at that." Usually, studios would be like, "Let's get as much out as we can because we're money grubbing bastards."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about the end later.
But I like the look of the miner. I think it's like a really like easy costume to pull off, and again, like it could have been iconic. I think.
What's also a thing about this film is that it runs along similar lines to like Scream. So throughout the film, we think it's Harry Warden who is the killer, or I mean, I didn't, but that's what you're meant to think. But at the same time, you're not sure, so it could be anyone. However, every male member of the cast has a mining costume, so it could be anyone. Kind of like in Scream films where you can just put the mask on and the robe and then you are the killer. So like any one of them could have just taken their mask and the helmet straight off, and then they're kept basically all the same as each other. And that wasn't a thing in these types of films at that point either, because we always knew who the killer was, except for maybe Friday the 13th. The twist in that, you know.
It's a very simple costume to pull off, and that's why I think it works so much.
Yeah.
So we're down in the mine, and now this scene really annoyed me, right? So it's Sarah, Howard, and the other girl, and they're cradling Hollis's dead body, and they can see the miner approaching him, and Howard is like, we've got to run, he's dead, right? And the girl's just like titting around, and he's like, oh, fuck this, and runs away. Now, instead of running with him, right, Sarah turns around and goes, Howard, you bastard, and like, because he's run off to say, and I was like, that's harsh on him, because like, they were going to get him killed. You know?
I think Sarah's trying to go as well, and then the other one's just like, she's like, come on, she's like, no.
Oh,
so she's wallet. And then she's like, right.
Well, Howard pays the price for, he's in a horror film, so he has to pay the price because he's now seen officially as the chicken heart of the group. And he is probably my second favourite death in the film because the first time I watched this, I didn't see it, I must have missed it. So when I went back and watched clips of it today, I saw this in its full glory and I was like, fuck me, that is horrendous way to go.
So
the group are like...
Because I've obviously not seen it. I think I know, but go on.
So the group are climbing up this ladder to escape, and there's lots of shit going on, and basically Howard falls off the ladder. But as he falls, his head gets caught in a noose. So he's falling like 100 foot off this ladder with his head in a noose. And when the tension of the rope would break his neck and hang him, it completely decapitates him. So his head is left swinging on this rope. And his headless body, falls the rest of the way down and thuds on the floor. And I was like, oh my God, that is horrific. Can you imagine that happening? Oh.
That's probably my favourite. Apart from the hot dog one, just because of the hot dogs. But it's like the best.
Yeah, then we get the next death is pretty shite. It's the brunette girl. She just literally walks and the miner's around the corner and swings the pickaxe into her stomach and she goes down. Pretty tame compared to everything else. But and with this one, I don't think anything was cut. I think that's just what it was.
Yeah.
All the other deaths have definitely had something cut and restored. This just looks like a simple stab to the stomach. So TJ and the miner brawling on the minecart like it's Resident Evil 4, trying to like fight each other and like wrestle, and then they fight up the tracks and they go into like this dangerous part of the mine, like sector 7G or something like that. And they're like, honestly, it's like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader fighting each other on the Death Star. They're like smashing into stuff, and like the supports are coming down, and the miner gets the better of TJ and like sort of pins him down, and he's about to hit him with the finishing blow, and Sarah runs in and pulls the mask off the miner, and we reveal, dun dun dun, it was Axel all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd only seen the 2009 version where, spoilers if anyone's listening to this and they want to see...
Am I going to watch it? Probably not. Unless we're doing it.
No.
Yeah, go on. Just say I'm not going to watch that. Go on.
So spoilers for the 2009 My Bloody Valentine. The killer in that film is revealed to be TJ, played by Jensen Ackles in that film. So as I was watching this film, I was like a smart ass over here going, oh yeah, the killer's obviously TJ. They're telegraphing it so much.
Obviously. Yeah.
So when I saw TJ fighting the miner, I was actually like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought the same, because I remember Jensen Ackles being the killer. Is that what it is? It's TJ in that film and not...
Yeah.
In that film, though, not that... I haven't seen it properly. I saw like a bit of it the other day, but I do know that in that film, it shows early on that he does see the miner, so they come face to face. But then it's revealed that he's hallucinating because he's got like some kind of schizophrenia or DID or something like that.
Yeah, it's fucking shit.
I might watch the trailer.
So we get this now. So we get the miner is not the ghost of Harry Warden. It is in fact Axel. Axel's motivation is the fact that his father was one of the two shithead supervisors who caused the initial explosion 20 years ago. Axel was hiding under the bed and saw his father getting murdered by Harry Warden. So this drove him insane and turned him into a mad killer. But at no point in this entire film did any of these characters mention that Axel's dad was murdered by Harry Warden. Not once. Literally not once. The only time it's mentioned is like, so the police storm the mine, and for some reason they're all running in single file, like Scooby-Doo characters. And then the mayor is like, he's like, oh, that's right, Axel's dad was killed by Harry Warden. I'm glad you knew. You did not think about telling somebody. Like,
that's why I thought I'd missed something when he was like, oh yeah, this is that. I was like, what the fuck?
No, like you'd think somebody would say to, when everyone thinks Harry Warden's around, somebody would say to Axel, are you okay? Because we know what Harry did to your dad. Are you going to be all right? Like, no, nobody mentions it. Nobody says anything.
But do you know what else as well? When she pulls the mask off him, and it gives this like flashback reveal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When it cuts back, like it shows everything that happened, it cuts back to Axel, and he's still kind of just standing there like that. But it's like he hasn't said what he's thinking, so they still don't know. And it's like, they don't know why he's doing it. It's like, what the fuck, Axel? What are you doing? And because he's just been standing there for like a minute thinking about it.
Yeah, like he stood there like holding the pickaxe above his head, like crying, and you know, we the audience know, but then they're just like, what's going on? Why are you doing all this?
Yeah, this is a bit of a weird ending.
How do you feel about his?
So
how do you feel about his reasoning? Do you think that's a good enough reason to start going out and doing that to people?
I mean, for a 1980s slasher film, yes, it's like perfectly cromulent reason. Yeah.
I thought it'd be sense if he was like the illegitimate son of Harry or something like that. You know, that would be way more. That would be way more typical.
I mean, maybe there's dozens of things that would have worked.
Or if Harry did actually come back.
Oh yeah, so we actually learned that Harry Warden died in an institution. 5 years ago, because the cop spends all this time like phoning round, you know, this like fucking all these bureaucrats and like. We're like, I'm sorry, those files are on microfilm. Well, it'll take us weeks to check them. He's like, I'll await your call. So Axel gets kicked into one of the support beams of the mine, and the entire building comes down on him and like buries him under the rubble. The only thing that's remaining is his hand. And James, you will have missed this scene actually, because you've only watched the edited version. So Axel's hand is like hanging out of the rubble. It's the only part of him left, and Sarah hears that Axel's alive, so she runs back.
Before you carry on, James, can you tell us what you saw? Because I'm quite...
Okay, yeah.
I'm quite
So I did
interested
see
in
that.
what you saw.
And then they run... Sarah starts running back, and then I think there's like an angle through... There's like the police searching for all the rubble, and then is it Axel like running off, laughing, going, ah, ha, 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 into the darkness?
Did you not see anything else?
I don't think so.
Oh my god!
And then he sings like a weird poem or something. What if I
you've definitely watched the...
I would.
Yeah, go on.
So Sarah runs back in. She's like, oh my god, he's alive, I have to see him. And TJ's like, no, he's not sorry. So she runs in and she holds Axel's hand while he's buried alive like that. And this is like one of the grossest scenes again in the it's a fucking gross film. I'm not surprised this got cut, really. It cuts to Axel buried under the rubble, and you see him, and he's holding Sarah's hand, and he's sawing his own arm off with the machete. And Sarah like holds his hand, and she pulls his hand, and she pulls his arm off, and she's like, ah! She's got a severed arm.
Oh, I actually love that.
And Axel's like laughing to him, so that's when he starts laughing. I think it cuts back into
the shot of
the theatrical release you saw. And he's all like laughing. He's like, we're coming back. Me and Harry Warden. So that's where the film ends, with Axel escaping into the mine, laughing maniacally into the darkness. I thought that was so good.
Creepy as fuck.
I thought it looked so cool. Creepy as fuck. And like, you know, he's lurking down there now.
It reminded me a lot of the phone calls from Black Christmas. You know, the way his voice was. And he was like, Sarah... Be My Bloody Valentine and all that shit.
I was thinking about a way to sort of rank these. Like, we've covered all four of these. No, sorry, we've covered 3 out of these 4 films. So we've covered Black Christmas, the first Halloween. We've just done My Bloody Valentine, and then eventually we're going to do Friday the 13th, Part 1. So, like, where would you rank out of those 4? What sort of order would you put them in? Because they're all very similar from around the same sort of era. You know, within 5 years of each other. I think, for me personally, I will say this is probably my least favourite of those 4 films. But that's not because this film is bad. It's because the other 3 are really good. I'd say maybe Friday the 13th is just a bit above this.
See, I would put this above Black Christmas, if I'm honest, just because.
Really?
I don't know whether it's my history of it, you know, because like when I watched it, I was like, this is the bit that like really fucked me up and stuff like that. I don't know. I like all the characters in this. They're like we'll round it up soon, I expect, but I don't know. I could definitely go back and watch this multiple times a year, whereas Black Christmas I'll only watch at Christmas, you know. So I'd rate this above that, but definitely below Halloween because that's one of my favourite films ever. I need a rewatch of Friday the 13th. I haven't seen it in ages.
Well, you will be in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, I will.
I think I'm with you, Dan. I think I'd put this at the bottom, not because I don't like it, but I remember Black Christmas actually like scaring me. Where, you know, like the first time you see the girl who's been suffocated and it cuts that shot of her on the rocking chair in a bag, that's horrible. And then obviously Friday the 13th. The first one, I think, it's my second favourite of the franchise. I think it's so good and it's so scary. So, and then obviously Halloween is...
Yeah. Before we move on as well, what I'd like to say though, that end credits theme That like James Taylor's Bob Dylan Ballad of Harry Warren.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Did you like? I loved it. I Shazammed it. I didn't listen to it at first. I just Shazammed it, thinking, "Oh, that's a really cool sounding track." And then it was like I didn't realize it had been made specifically for the film.
Well, I was going to mention this. I didn't know when to mention this, but the film is, it's like, the whole film is like a folk tale. So like it's God, I can't get this out of it. So yeah, it's like, it's almost like an old folk tale of this like mining disaster, because there's a lot of old folk songs written about mines and the hardships of working down mines and the pay you get and like your life expectancy being really low. And I was listening to this video about murder balladies, and basically in the 1800s, how they would tell people the news of a murder would be through music and song and stuff, because people couldn't read back then. So it's almost like a modern day podcasting kind of thing, you know. So like that's what it ties into this being like a folk kind of story thing with the folk ballad song at the end.
Definitely, I can definitely see.
Yeah. It's like when they did when Prince Philip died. Prince Philip is dead.
That's a banger.
Fucking so funny.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh.
Fucking so funny.
Rest in peace, King Philip.
No.
So yeah, that's My Bloody Valentine in the books.
Yeah.
I'm glad we took a little detour to watch this.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Glad I'm going to put it on my letterbox.
Why? When are you going to watch it?
I'll watch the second half. But yeah, it's weird that there's no sequels though.
Maybe that makes it good though. Like Black Christmas doesn't have a sequel, so
yeah, just awful remake. They've both got awful remakes. Yeah.
Black Christmas has got 2 awful remakes.
But the awful remake of this made it so that we could see all the outtakes, all the unedited footage.
Yeah.
So if that didn't come around, then we wouldn't have ever got that. And then it might not have had the iconic status that it does have now.
That's true. So yeah, it did do so. That 2009 remake did do some good. You know, you can tell there was some Lionsgate executive that was a really big fan of this film and like did all this personally.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when we get to the trivia, I'll tell you who else is another big fan of this film.
Well, let's do it.
Hold on, James was going to say something.
I was just going to say, have you seen the poster for this? It's the guy in a gas mask with like the illustration of his head.
Yeah.
There's a shot in. Do you remember the music video to Spit It Out?
Yeah, with
not off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's like a Shining homage. But there's a shot.
Oh yeah,
I think it's Sid who wears the gas mask in it.
Sid, yeah.
The shot of him and it looks like it's framed. It might not be. It's just the gas mask thing, but it looks, and his eyes are like super wide up. It looks so creepy. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna watch that in a bit. Right, are you ready then? Okay.
I'll get it.
So trivia. It's now time for Paul's shit trivia of the week. Number 1. Quentin Tarantino has named My Bloody Valentine as his all-time favourite slasher film.
I think I knew that one.
And that's true, apparently. Okay, so in an interview with TerrorTrap.com, director George Mihalka, is that how you say it? Said that the shooting location at Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia, was chosen because of its rustic, atmospheric appearance. But when the locals found out that the movie was to be shot there, they decided to spend tens of thousands of dollars to have the mine painted and cleaned. This, of course, diminished the reason that the production wanted the location to begin with. So the director said that 75 grand of the film's budget was then used to return the mine to the original state of shooting. So probably around 100 grand just vanished into nowhere.
Fair due to him for actually doing that though, rather than just be like, oh, we're just going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, of course. There must have been it was perfect, but it must have been his vision.
Yeah.
The film was shot in authentic mines, which were often as much as 900 feet underground. Only certain lighting devices could be used in the mines because of the potential danger of methane explosions.
That's mad effort, like back then. Getting all that filming equipment down there as well. Jeez.
Actor Neil Affleck is actually Ben Affleck's uncle.
Who?
No, I made that one up.
I thought you did. I thought that I would have heard that.
In a recent interview, actor Neil Affleck revealed that he still has the miner's helmet that he wore in the film.
Nice.
I actually haven't read any more of these, but I'll... Oh, okay. The caption near the beginning states Thursday, February the 12th, indicating that the dance will be on Saturday the 14th. That means Friday the 13th falls between the film. So this film is actually also a Friday the 13th film. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
So, hang on, because this was released in 1981, so does that mean in Crystal Lake, in the horror movie universe, Jason was doing his killings on the same weekend that Axel was doing his killings in the mine?
Maybe.
Could be.
Is that it for the trivia?
No, I'm going to give you one more. The director approached Paramount in 2001 with a synopsis for a sequel, but due to a poor box office records with the original film, they declined. And there is your trivia of the week.
Right, would you like to hear what
some
films
of them
are
were quite interesting. Oh, yes, please.
Halloween 2. Have you seen that?
It's on my list to watch.
I've
Yeah.
never
Nice
heard of
little
it.
joke there. We have Possession, which I've not seen. But Sam Neill's in it, apparently.
I might have seen Possession, actually. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. we need to cover that film.
We've got The Burning.
Ah, what a
I've not
film.
seen
The
it.
Burning.
It's good. Never seen it.
Oh, we're
I
definitely
have
on
not
Prime
seen
right
it.
now.
I haven't seen it. It's on my list of films to watch.
Friday the 13th Part 2. Let's have a look. The Evil Dead. Yeah,
The OG.
The Howling. I've seen that, I think. Yeah. And one more. An American Werewolf in London.
The Lasso Werewolf film.
Everyone's going to go mad.
I'm joking. They're both great.
Yeah.
Should we get recasting?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had time to do one. I am sorry. I recast my favourite character,
Who's your favourite character?
Hollis.
Go on, who did you recast Hollis
I
as?
recast Hollis as Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh, yeah. We've cast him in one of ours before, I'm sure we have.
What's he in? Richard Jewell. You seen that? That Clint Eastwood film about the...
Yeah, I've not seen that, but
Yeah, it's
also-
the first thing I saw him in. He's really good. He's in...
he's in Sunny.
I've seen him in Cruella, is he?
He's in a band episode of Sunny.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, Klansman,
he's a juggalo.
Yeah, so he...
And then at the end, he goes blackface, so because that's not allowed anymore.
Oh
They've
shit!
had
Is
to-
that him? When is the kid?
That's him. Yeah, because you can't tell because he's got face paint on. He's the kid. Yeah,
No way.
he's also Stingray in Cobra Kai.
Right, Paul, who did you have for TJ?
For TJ, I've got Ewan Ryan.
Is that the guy from... Is that Ramsey
Yeah,
Bolton?
Ramsey Bolton, and he's from Misfits and a bunch of
Yeah.
other stuff. He's a really good actor. To be fair, he's like very underrated in my eyes.
He
Shit,
is really
how
good.
how good was he? Is
He's in some awful shit like that I've watched recently. I was like, oh, he's in it. I'll watch it because he's in it.
Yeah, so for TJ, I chose... Because this guy is in absolutely everything, so he would definitely want to be in my remake of this film. Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah. But he'd have to be the killer, right?
Well, no, because I'm just going to move on to who I would have as my Axel. So I thought if I'm going to have Bill Skarsgård, I may as well have Axel be played by Alexander.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Who's going to play the chief or the mayor, I wonder.
Stellan's got that, wouldn't you? Yeah, so I thought of Bill Skarsgård first, and then I just thought, you know what? I can choose whoever I want, so I'm just going to go and have Alexander Skarsgård. Paul, who did you have for Axel?
Not sure if you'll know.
Is it Eric Rowan again?
I don't know if you'll know him by name, but his name is Chris Zilka or Zilka. Plays Flash in the Amazing Spider-Man films, and he's the son in The Leftovers, which is mainly what I know him from. So he's a pretty good bully kind of guy. He's 39, so he's the same age as Ewan Ryan. So he's a good actor as well. He should be in more. He'd be believable as a jealous
I don't know him
jealous
from anything.
boyfriend and a bully, and obviously a killer.
He was in 10 Things I Hate About You. Oh, the TV series. Who did you have for Sarah?
So, going along the lines of that age, I've gone for a person who is that age as well. And that is Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
She's in Twin Peaks: The Return, and she's like phenomenal in that. I didn't really rate her as
She plays
as
Thingy's girlfriend.
an actress.
Thingy's daughter.
Yeah, there's that scene where she's like in the car and she's like looking at the sky when she's high, and it's just like, oh, great scene. But yeah, I didn't really rate her before I saw her in Twin Peaks, but after that small performance and that, I realised that she's actually really good. So yeah, there you go. How about you?
I don't really like the character. I think there's nothing about the character, so I wanted to like mix it up a bit. So I chose
Jack Black.
someone that isn't even an actress. I chose FKA Twigs because I think she'd I like the way she looks, and I think the character of Sarah could use some like oomph to it.
Fair.
I've never heard of her.
The singer, FKA Twigs.
Have you heard of her, James?
Yeah.
Why? It says people also search for Bill Skarsgård. Is she got anything to do with it?
No, I don't think so. Unless like Google's picking up what I've been searching today.
Did you also search for Shia LaBeouf, Robert Pattinson, and Jordan Hemingway by any chance?
She was with Shia LaBeouf when he was a arsehole.
No, she used to go out with Robert Pattinson for a bit, and then she was with Shia LaBeouf after, and he was. I think there's a court case coming up, but let's talk about something else.
Hold on, I'm just going to Google her with Bill Skarsgård and see what their connection is, because they definitely have one. Oh, they're in The Crow together.
What, FKA Twigs is in The FKA Twigs is in The Crow?
She's Shelley in The Crow.
No, she's
not.
Yes,
she is.
She's Shelley in Friday the 13th.
No, she isn't. Shelley's dead. Oh my god, I didn't know she was in The Crow.
Yeah.
I'm never going to watch this film.
Someone told me it was quite good. Someone in work told me it was quite good. I doubt it, but...
Nah, you may as well just piss on Brandon Lee's grave. I'm never watching that film. Everyone involved should know better. In fact, I'm going to rescind my offer to Bill Skarsgård and FKA Twigs to star in my film because they were in The Crow. That's how strongly I feel.
Well, Dan, I've got a little surprise for you.
Well, I hope they think ahead in future, because they've just lost this job.
Fucking hell.
Who did you have as... I'll tell you what, we'll do the mayor first. Who did you have as the mayor?
I'll tell you what, let me do my chief newbie first, because
Okay,
the mayor will then be a bit real. So, right, I don't know whether this is just this thing where I watch things and I see other people's faces in people. You know, like just before we said that Axel, I thought he looked like Randy Orton and I couldn't figure out who he looked like. Well, it was the same with the chief as well. I was watching it and I was like, who the fuck does he remind me of? And I concentrated so much on it and I realised he looks a lot like Norman Reedus.
Yes,
very similar eyes, similar face shape. So I've gone for Norman Reedus.
You fucker. He was one of my choices.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was one of my... He was, I swear down. He was, I swear down.
But do you know what I did as well? Because I'd chosen the other two were like 39. The other actors were 39. I was like, he's got to be a bit above them in age. Norman Reedus is nearly 60. Yeah. Did you know that?
Yeah. So for the chief, I cast Adam Sandler.
My eyes actually went so wide though.
I had a few people. I'm not going to go into all of them. They're all like pretty good choices, but I went with, I considered Norman Reedus, but I eventually just went with Jeffrey Dean Morgan because he's older, he's a tough guy. Paul, who did you have as the mayor?
So for the mayor, I went with Michael Rooker.
Who's Michael Rooker?
Yes, please. That'll be great. Watching Daryl and Merle reunited.
Yeah, as in like an authority kind of role where they're like Scooby-Dooing their way around trying to figure out this mystery. That'd be awesome. And then even just have a spin-off with them as well.
Just try not to fight every 2 minutes.
I just realised, I just clicked on him. He played Henry in Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Well, that leads me to my film choice. Because you've been saying, Dan,
Hang on. I haven't shown you told you who my mayor is yet.
Go on then.
All right, roll your eyes. It's all right. It was only going to be Lance Henriksen, that's all. Just, little cameo for him. But, seeing as nobody's interested, we'll just move on. Thanks. Okay, before we start our next season, our next film franchise, we're going to take a little break. We're all going to choose one film each, and we're going to review them in consecutive order. So Paul's going to go first. He's going to choose a film, and that will be what we review for the next episode. James will be the next choice, and then mine will be the third before we kick back into gear and get on with the next film series. So, Paul, would you like to tell the Dark Talk listeners what film, and us, what film you've decided that we're all going to watch?
Well, James kind of mentioned it a second ago, so it's going to be Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer from 1986, starring Henry Rooker. Why are you fucksaking that?
Oh, why?
What are you implying here?
It's horrible.
Yeah,
I've only ever seen clips from this film. I've never actually sat and watched the full film.
Oh, right. Do yourself a favour, right? Get stoned. Sit in the darkest room you can. Put your phone in the car or something like that. Just get your phone away from you and just watch it and just get into it. Get into it.
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were going to choose like Idle Hands or something.
I was going to choose Idle Hands, but we will do that. But I was trying to think of films that have had like quite a big impact on me, and I won't get into it now. But I saw it, and it had a really, really big impact on me. Yeah, so that's what I've gone for. There were a couple of others that I had in mind, but that's what I went for. So there you go.
Well, there's something I've never sat through and watched properly, so I'm excited.
I think it'll fit lovely into our genre of podcasts. So yeah,
we'll just buy it on Prime, James, and you'll watch it without all the good scenes in it again, so.
Yeah. Well, this was I rented this off YouTube.
No, it's a good fit, the film. So yeah, good
nice.
Choice.
Cheers.
Sorry, James. Go on.
Don't matter.
So yeah, there we go. That's we'll see you next time for Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye, everyone, and
Cheers.
good night.
Good night.